What is going on, guys? It's Justin from the J Media back with another video. Today we'll be having another DIY install video. I want to say a big thank you to Xtrons for sending me out a head unit, and this head unit you can install in your 10th gen Mitsubishi Lancer, Rallier, or Evo 10. So any 2008 to 2017 Mitsubishi Lancer models you can install it in. Definitely makes your OEM setup a lot better. So if you have the OEM setup, this gives you Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And if you already do have an aftermarket system, but you want to upgrade it to a better set, I've had Xtron unit before in my rally art. They work great, look great. So let's go ahead and get started with this install. And before we get started, let's go ahead and open up the box, see what's in here. It's a really quick shipping from Xtrons. Nice packaging. And this is plug and play, which means that everything just plugs into the original OEM harness. Comes with an instruction manual, the actual head unit itself. So you'll be reusing the window vents here on the side. Pretty easy to remove. And then lastly, we do have the wiring as well. Alright, first things first, we are in the interior of the car. So I would recommend, instead of sitting on the driver's side, hop into the passenger side. It's a lot easier. Everything you'll be removing is like right around here. So I've done this install quite a few times. So if you guys have watched this process before, I'm doing it again, but it's super easy. All you really need is just your Phillips screwdriver, and pretty much, like I said, anyone can attempt doing it. So first things first, let's go ahead and open up the glove box. And then once you open up the glove box, your very first screw is going to be right there. Okay, so there's a screw right here. Once you remove that screw, this piece falls off. There's another screw, and this whole piece right here can be removed. And then once that's removed, you can go ahead and remove the head unit. So let's go ahead and get started. So once you have that first screw removed, this piece should pop right out. It's held on by little clips. One clip right here, one clip on the bottom. Go ahead and remove this whole piece. Put it aside. And there's another screw up here that you have to remove as well. Alright, so once those two screws been removed, this whole piece should pop right out. It's pretty easy. So let's go ahead and pop it out. The head unit might pop out as well, so make sure that it doesn't fall off. Slowly, gently pop it out. It's just held on by some plastic tabs. So there you have it. This whole piece is all connected. So right now, there are your wiring on the back. So let's go ahead and unplug the wiring so that the head unit is free. Okay, so we do have all the wires already all disconnected from the head unit on the back. Right now, you do have to remove this little piece. So that's just held on by some of your screwdrivers right here. Same thing, Phillips screwdrivers. And then this piece is from the factory. You're going to go ahead and replace it on the new head unit. You also will be removing the window vents as well. These are held on by plastic clips. They pop right out. Okay, so now for the back of the window vents. So like I said, these are held on by plastic clips. It would help if you use a flat tip screwdriver to pretty much, pry it out on the edges. So held on side plastic clips all around, so go ahead and gently pop it out. So once you can find where the little clips are using a flat tip screwdriver, it's really easy to slowly, gently pry it out. You want to make sure you're not breaking the clips in the process, so you want to be a little bit gentle. But yeah, I would recommend using a flat tip screwdriver. This definitely helps a lot more. So easy, just pops right out. Also, there's two pieces to it. If you pry it on these little plastic clips here, you might notice this top part comes out, but the bottom part of the vent is still stuck. So yeah, go ahead and get both pieces out. You essentially want to make sure that your whole unit, whole entire vent is out. Alright, so now that the old head unit is out and disassembled, let's go ahead and open up this new head unit from the packaging. So everything is in reverse. You're just going to go ahead and pretty much plug in the window vents, the air vents back in place. You're going to plug in this little guy back in place, and then we'll get to doing the wiring. Okay, we're going to pop the vents back in place. One thing to note is if you want to label or remember which side is which, make sure not to flip-flop them. Also, one thing I did notice is I've done this install before, but for those of you guys very first time doing this install, I do notice on the edges right here, right around this edge, and on the other side right around this edge, you do have to do a little bit of trimming because the OEM air vents, for some reason, they don't fit 100% flush, so you do need to, trim it a little bit. But yeah, it pretty much pops right in place. Just gently apply a little bit of pressure, snaps right in place. You just want to make sure that it's each on the right side, and then just gently apply a little bit of pressure, and it snaps right in place. Okay, we have the air vents all in place. Right now, we just gotta install this little guy back in place. So like I said, that is just held on by 2 Phillips screws. So you want to go ahead and align it nicely. Get your alignment nice, and then you can go ahead and put the screws back on. Alright, so now let's go ahead and see what wiring they gave us. So everything that's needed is provided here. This looks like your little Wi-Fi cable. This looks like your GPS cable. A bunch of miscellaneous wires. Some of them are going to like the main harness. It does work with backup camera, if you guys are wondering. If you have the OEM backup camera, it does work. Yeah, pretty much all the wires. Everything's labeled for us. These 2 wires back in here are actually for like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto with the USB cable. So yeah, everything you need is right here, all provided for you. Okay, so what I'll recommend is pretty much plugging in everything to the back of the head unit while it's out. So all of them come with these little, pins, and it's pretty easy because based on how many holes, how many connectors, some of them, they're all different sizes. So like if it fits, it pretty much goes in. So yeah, you're just gonna go ahead and go through each one, see what size they are, and then just finding the right spot and just plugging it in. Okay, so I pretty much have everything plugged in to the back right now. Before I go ahead and put everything back together, I also took some time, put the microphone right here, and what I did was I pretty much tucked it on the side from right here. I tucked it all the way in, so nice and clean, all around the edges, underneath the steering wheel, coming up through here. And right now this is my wire for my microphone. Same with the GPS as well as the 4G. We do have it right there, so I pretty much ran it from the side, underneath, glove box, all the way up right here. So yeah, run your wiring, make it nice and clean underneath through the glove box and all that. Since the wires are hidden back here, you'll not be able to see it. And if you guys are wondering about the backup camera, so some cars, some of the Lancers come with it, some don't. This is the backup camera, the harness. You do have to either buy an aftermarket adapter where you can connect the aftermarket radio to your OEM backup camera, or you can also do some wire splicing. But yeah, if you do want to buy that adapter, you can buy it off Amazon, eBay. Some kits do come with it, but yeah, you do want to buy the adapter harness just so you can use your OEM backup camera. Alright, so all that's left is let's go ahead and plug everything into place. Like I said, they really made things easy. So your harnesses just gotta fit whichever one fits size, and then go ahead and connect them. Alright, so now that everything's connected on the back of the head unit, we can go ahead and put the head unit back in place. Okay, so I do have the head unit back in. I did not fit it flush. Right now, what I like to do before I put everything back in place is test it out, make sure that it powers up. I can connect the Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it to the on position. The very first startup might take a couple seconds. So like I said, the very first startup does take a little longer. Alright, so it just took a couple seconds, everything powered up pretty quick. So right now, first test, I'm going to go ahead and do my Bluetooth test. I'm going to connect my phone to the head unit. Okay, so I just connected my phone to the Android Auto setup. So I do have an Android phone, works with Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Give you permission. Very first startup's just asking a couple questions. Boom! Connected. Okay, so what's super cool is even though they provided the USB cable for connection, just with my phone, I don't even have it plugged in, but everything is connected as well. My Bluetooth connects to Apple CarPlay. You can go to Maps and straight away shows location and everything. So it's pretty cool. It could be because of that little dongle that we have. Let's see if Google Maps and everything works as well. Wow, so that's pretty cool. Straight away it works super fast. Processor is awesome. Works right away. So yeah, your Spotify, your Google Maps, everything works right away. Alright, so we just tested it. Bluetooth works, Android Auto works. What's really cool is this one is actually wireless. Previous head units I had, you always had to plug in your USB cable to make it, wired Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, which is fine. This one, all I had to do was just connect my Bluetooth and everything is wireless, which is awesome. Google Maps works super quick, no lagging. One thing to note, there are a few different variations. Head units, they look all the same, but some of them have the weaker spec, like the 1 gig ROM, 1 gig or 16 gig RAM, so lower processor. And then we have the second tier, which is a 2 plus 32 gig, and then this one's the highest, which is a 4 plus 64 gig. So the higher you go in terms of specs for ROM and RAM, you have more storage and you have a quicker processor. Kind of the same deal with a computer. If you have a quicker processor, it's gonna be much quicker and not as laggy. But at the same time, you pay more for it. So a lot of car guys feel like they all look the same, but actually the specs are different. So make sure to check and that he has a good ROM and good RAM. I would recommend the 4 plus 64. That is the best one. But if you do want to get something like mid-tier, you can go to a 2 plus 32. Alright, so now let's go ahead and just put everything back in place in reverse and we are all set. Alright, and there you have it. The new Xtrons head unit is all installed. Looks way nicer. Like I said, it looks a lot more modern in the interior with this new head unit. Also super exciting. If you do have the OEM steering wheel, you can go to the settings and connect it. In my case, I have an aftermarket steering wheel, but like I said, everything connects to the OEM setup. Your Bluetooth works, you can play music, Apple CarPlay, there's Google Maps now, and reverse camera. So yeah, steering wheel controls do work, you just have to reprogram it once you go to settings. Hope you guys like this DIY install video. I have done quite a few of these over the years. Reason being, firstly, I had a Ralliart as well as the Mitsubishi Lancer. Plus, I always like to upgrade it over the years. You guys know, you would upgrade your iPhone every few years just so you can get better technology, better ROM and RAM systems. So same with the head unit, after a while it gets a little slower, I want to upgrade it. So hope you guys like this video. Again, if you guys are new to the channel, leave a thumbs up. If you want to see where you can find this, there will be a link in the description, so make sure to check that out, to check out Xtrons and their head units. Like I said, I had it in my Ralliart, and right now my Mitsubishi Lancer show build works great, and I'm really excited to have it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.